I had the character of Sister for a long time, probably something like a decade. I can't remember the first time I wrote in her voice. There were lots of scraps and starts to things before the first part of the story became the story. But I can say that oftentimes a character's voice, especially if it's a first person voice, comes to me when I'm taking a walk or taking a shower, doing something not writing, just moving around in the world in moments when people aren't going to be talking to me. So it's important to have this sort of closed bubble headspace wherein there won't be very many interruptions, and then I might do something crazy like start talking to myself in a character's voice. And so I can remember taking very many dog walks thinking about Sister and how she might speak, what she would say and what she would do early in the process. In the novella, we see her in three different dramatically different time periods, and so I had to think about how that voice would change. And so I really do think that it's really three different sisters that you get in the book. I mean, there are through lines, but it was a meditative process to arrive at, Sister, when she's in her 40s, for example. Back in normal times, pre-pandemic times, I was the creepy person sitting on campus listening to everyone. I listened to everything I can, and read a lot and try to absorb speech when I hear it. And so I think sometimes I am just sort of collecting like a creepy little life spy moments that I encounter. But other times I'm experimenting with voice, and I'll write off the page. If I have a secondary character, I'll write a scene that they are in, from their point of view, so I can get a sense of what their life is. Some really great advice came to me by way of Chris Batchelder, who made the argument that the best secondary characters are the ones who think they are the protagonist of the story. Because if you have a secondary character who's behaving like a secondary character, they become apparent as a device, and you don't want them to be apparent as a device. They should, you want your reader to fall into the continuous stream of the storytelling. And so I tried to spend time with those secondary characters so I know what they sound like, what they feel like, and then I'm giving them a fully imagined world to occupy. Grace Paley said that all storytelling comes from the same place, and it's that same feeling that you get as a child when you run into a room and say, I have something to say. Your parents are there and you run in the room and you say, I have something to say. And Paley's argument was, if you can just connect with that impulse to speak, then you'll be in a good space with your writing. And it's very simple and direct. But I find that when I don't know what to write, I can go back to that notion of, what do I really want to say? What do I have to say? What do I want to tell you about? And that gets me back to the page.